Welcome to the Den, the Dark Entertainment Network. I'm the Gothic Rose, and this is the hot mess of Hollywood. Let me take this moment to reintroduce myself. I am the Gothic Rose, hostess of the Dark Entertainment Network. This is a channel where the news meets conspiracy theories and makes babies in my brain, and it comes out my mouth. I do this because I enjoy it. If you like this type of content, please follow along, because I'm not going to stop. Oh, the hot mess of Hollywood really is messier today than ever, because I just got acquainted with what I've heard are called the Sussex Squad, the most vile human beings on the planet, who honestly, really, in my opinion, are racist. Oh my God, listen to what everyone's saying about Dr. Sophie Chanduka. So, as we know, Dr. Chanduka has had to come forward and write a letter in defense of herself right now, as Prince Harry is involved and in court with this legal battle with his security arrangements in the UK. So, we know they stepped back in 2020, him and Meghan Markle, and he wanted his security to be the same as it was year round, whether he lived in the UK or the US, which means that the US has to also foot some of that security bill with our taxes. So he is upset that his protection was downgraded to case by case and that he has to give 28 days notice of arrival. But I think that that actually helps, because they can put together the best teams for him. Now, there are pictures of Harry walking into court surrounded by police protection as he's walking into the courtroom to fight for police protection. The whole thing is just ironic and ridiculous. So what he's arguing is that private security teams in the US lack access to UK intelligence, which he believes is essential for his family's safety during visits. But if they give away certain UK intelligence to these US security people, I don't know, that can't be safe for the royal family. So they have to think about everybody, and it seems like Harry's just thinking about himself and his wife. So he appeared in court, the London's Court of Appeal. He challenged this ruling, and he just wants the security detail what it was. He does not want reduced security detail. So his legal team claims that he was singled out for inferior treatment and that the decision-making process lacked expert analysis on the threats against him. But he went to Nigeria and Colombia, which are both very poor countries where danger is way, way higher than it is for the Prince of the UK. They're not going to ever let anything happen to Harry or Meghan or their children. Not after Diana. They are not going to ever let anything happen to those two. And the way they continue to play it up is just so ridiculous. Now, of course, we know that Harry was in London and King Charles and Queen Camilla hopped on over to Italy. Interesting timing. So I wanted to read a little bit about what went on. Okay. So I found this off of Quora, and this writer is called Milady de Winter. And it reads, Dr. Sophie Chambuca has stated a fact obvious to all. Prince Harry is now a major liability to the charity he co-founded because of the chaotic, unstable, and idiotic behavior of his wife. So what this goes on to say, this piece of an article, and it doesn't list where the article's from, but it says Meghan Markle disrupted charity polo event by turning up unannounced with Serena Williams before Harry demanded Santa Ballet chief issue a statement defending Duchess over awkward stage moment. So This is a bombshell new interview. Centre Ballet chairman Dr. Sophie Chanduka has made several damaging claims against the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. She's not the first, calling their brand toxic and accusing Harry of harassment and bullying at a scale. She must have the receipts, a claim that he's denied. Dr. Chanduka claims that prior to a charity polo event in 2024, Meghan confirmed she would not be attending before showing up with a famous former tennis player, Williams. Poor Serena getting pulled into this. Allegedly, Meghan then caused chaos on stage as she appeared to ask Dr. Chanduka not to pose next to Harry as he celebrated the Royal Salute Polo Challenge in Florida. The charity chairman, who stood on the Duke's right, was asked twice by Meghan to move to her left side and away from Harry, as he kept his arm around his wife. And then what this Milady de Winter went on to say is they are both highly unqualified, far less intelligent, and certainly both appear to be under the influence of different substances the majority of the time. Interesting. I found another piece of an article on Quora from the writer called Harry Markle. Now, this reads, the Centibele scandal will not go away, and the mudslinging has begun, with Harold basically calling Sophie Chanduka a liar in a statement he released on behalf of him and the former trustees. This was in response to the Charity Commission, CC, confirming that they had opened a compliance case and assessed concerns about Centibele, a move that Chanduka had indicated at the end of February 2025 by reporting the charity to the Charity Commission, calling herself a whistleblower. So this goes on to say choosing to be a whistleblower is not easy, as many will have noticed the incidents that let them pass as one of errors. But when it becomes the norm, the action has to be taken. Make no bones about it. Chanduka knew that it might mean the end of the charity or the salvation of it, and the latter is what she is fighting for. And then this goes on to say charity commissions for England and Wales for immediate release, 1303 April 2025. Centibele Charity Commission opens a compliance case to assess concerns raised about the charity. The regulator for charities in England and Wales has opened a regulatory compliance case to examine concerns raised about the charity Centibele. The Charity Commission is now in direct contact with the parties who have raised concerns to gather evidence and assess the compliance of the charity and trustees, past and present, with their legal duties. The regulator's focus, in line with the statutory remit, will be determined whether the charity's current and former trustees, including its chair, have fulfilled their duties and responsibilities under charity law. The commission's is not an adjudicator or mediator and is guided by the principle of ensuring trustees fulfill their primary duty to the charitable purpose and beneficiaries. After a period of assessing the initial concerns raised with the commission, the regulator informed the charity on 2 April 2025 that it has opened a regulatory compliance case. The regulator has not made any findings at this time. So there's still a chance that maybe Harry and Meghan are telling the truth. So they're looking into the ethics of Prince Harry's behavior. And this statement goes on to say, first of all, a patron has no formal or legal obligations, duties, or responsibilities to a charity. Therefore, if the CC determines that there was misconduct, then it doesn't affect Harold or Prince Cezio. Their appearances at events are courtesy, and if they attend any meetings, that too is technically considered the same, more to show an interest, but they should not have any voting rights. From what we have heard from Chanduka, things have been too lax. When Harold attends meetings, and if Harold had instructed various members of the board to act on his behalf, then it is questionable as to whether that is ethical or can be considered misconduct depending on what was said or done. I have no doubt many patrons have had a quiet word in the ear of a board member across the world, and it's whether those actions are considered ethical and in the best interest of the charity. Now I've got the Sussex squad really like all over the place. And you guys, I have to just direct you to my shorts, but people are calling Dr. Chanduka a fake doctor because her doctorate is honorary, and they're just being incredibly cruel to a really smart woman. And to me, that is pure racism. I mean, this is an African woman who has received doctorates, who has earned bachelor's degree, who graduated summa cum laude, and she's being laughed at on the internet by people who are far inferior to her in intelligence and in degrees that that she holds. And I mean, I just can't see somebody else who has a PhD, whether they paid for it or it's honorary, to disparage another person who has that. It's not easy to get an honorary PhD. You can't just like pick it up at the pharmacy. And it's really racist. It's misogynistic. It's misogynoir to speak that way about Dr. Chanduka. She earned her PhD, and you should not be taking that away from her because you want to laugh in the face of a highly educated woman who refused to be the PR mouthpiece for two grown ass adults who act like children and want everything their way and cry if they don't get it and go to the press all the time. People in all these different magazines that are mouthpieces that put their fluff in, in the paper. It's just ridiculous. These guys need to grow up. They need to pull back from the me, poor me victim mentality, especially in this recession that we're in. We're all in uncertain times, and you have these two crying that they don't have enough privilege when people are losing everything, when government employees are losing their jobs. This little bitch boy Prince wants more security, and some of that comes onto the taxpayers of the United States as well. I never agree with the Heritage Foundation. In fact, I think they are vile because they are the minds behind Project 2025 and everything that the United States is going through right now. And Harry has the nerve to bitch. Go back to your country and shut up and deal with it there. Don't bring it back to America when we have a constitutional crisis and you want people to cry over you. All right, my rant is done. If you like this, let me know. Okay, before I go, the Heritage Foundation are the ones that want access and filled out a FOIA, and we're suing the United States government to find out if what Harry put on his visa matched the drug use he talked about in his book Spare. And that is the end of my rant. Okay, not done yet, because there's a blind item. I can't find it. You know how the internet is. It said the reason Harry won his case on the immigration in the United States court is because his lawyers argued national security and the judge folded. That comes from my photographic memory. I don't remember the date though, I'm sorry, but that is allegedly what happened. And then, of course, there is this blind item right here, and it reads from July 26th, 2024. The illiterate one keeps playing up the paranoia card to the point where he actually inquired about uniformed police protection for every time one of them leaves home, and that's Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And that costs the United States taxpayers. And I know that after their whole catastrophic car chase in Manhattan, which is impossible, if you're in the car for 2 hours in Manhattan, that's called gridlock. You cannot high speed chase anything. I have lived there for years. There's no chance that you can do that. But Mayor Adams gave them full police protection each time they're in New York due to that incident. So when the Spotify dude called them effing grifters, that's what they are. And it's annoying to me in this political climate right now that these two are getting this much attention. $28 for honey that was not even real. You couldn't even get the product. $15 for fucking rabbit food that she's saying are flour sprinkles. It's rabbit food, people. It's rabbit food. Now, that is the end of my rant. If you enjoy it here at the Dark Entertainment Network, like, subscribe, and hit that bell.